let me start with XRP, and I'm going to start with this. Okay, so lots of rock and roll, lots of rock and roll. I'll just take this out of here for a sec. So this chart, if you remember, this is on the daily. Is look at this yesterday. Is all the way down here, all the way up, and then here we are coming back down again. Now this to me looks like that has more to go on the downside, and I have repositioned my 15-minute arc because of this, and I'll show you why. I had my line here, and I was thinking breakout. And I made a mistake yesterday. I was in shorts, and it offered me 60%. I took 30, and I said I'll let it settle because it looked like this is going to go and break down, because I had my line here, and I was thinking, okay, this looks like it, and it was doing consolidation sideways here, and then it went up, and I was thinking, okay, it went to 39.60. 39.50 was my limit of if it goes beyond that, I'm thinking of taking coming out. I went up a little bit more, and I said, okay, this looks like it's going to reverse now. 39.75 is going to reverse, turned around, and then it just shot up. And I stayed in one of my shorts, and again, I'm just about to come into profit. The other one, I got knocked out because I had a 15% stop loss on it. I actually would have stayed in, and because I realized that this is overheating. It's not going to, can't last. But anyway, I lost 15%. If I hit my target on this one, I'll get back my 15%. The mistake I made yesterday is that I stayed in looking to catch the breakout rather than trade the impulses. So silly mistake on my part. But equally, Mihaela pointed this out this morning. This is looking like Mountain Peak on the 15-minute, which makes it absolutely sweet. And also is, again, I moved this to here and just set it out. So it looks like a Mountain Peak, third drop, a final bounce, a final peak, a final bounce, a final retrace, and then it's going to go one way. So now this is what I think. So I showed you this. I absolved myself of my sins, do my Hail Marys. So now this here is, when I put this line back in, is looking like a symmetrical triangle. And this is the new line of the 15-minute arc. And again, here's the top line here, yeah? So it's looking like a symmetrical triangle. And because it's coming from the down, is most likely a symmetrical triangle when it's coming from the top down, is continuation down. That's the general pattern. If it was coming from the bottom up, it'd be for continuation up. That's generally the pattern. So now if I take from here, I think I did this earlier on. I think it was from here to, was it here to there? Here to there. Okay, and I put this just where it is at a peak here. Now let's say it's going to break out in another day or two, or after the weekend possibly. And I put it to the top of the triangle here. So I'm suggesting that it's going to break out, not today. It's got to do a bit more sideways, yeah. I'm looking at a target here of 27 and a half, okay, 27 and a half. Now, if I take all of this and I put it to here, because this is where the wick is, and I place it like that, it brings it closer to this line down here at 26. Okay, now the reason why I'm doing that is when we zoom out, if you remember, when we zoom out in this chart, and I was been telling you about this all week, look at this wave pattern. down, up, down, and up. Okay, so now when we take out, I'll take out this blue line because it's a bit distracting. So you see this center line here? So look, half of the price action is here, the other half is up here, and again, as it bounces along, this is bear market 2017, SEC case, $2, touches the center line, retraces, breaks the center line, and again, naturally coming back to this support line here. Yeah, it's a natural position for it. So really what I'm trying to say is the breakout of this symmetrical triangle is looking like the bottom, this line here, which is again about the 26 cent. It also supports this support line here, yeah, from the top all the way to the bottom. This looks like it's potential target, yeah. Equally is, you can see here's the peak here, so I started it here, this divergence line here, or center line, and I just put it through here, touch these beautiful points, and again look at splitting the difference. You follow this divergence line down, and again it meets here as well. So it looks like, I'd nearly suggest on the, would I be bold as to say the 4th of July? Geez, that's a month's time. Sounds like a long time away. But anyway, you can see what I'm talking about, yeah. So that's that all fits in. That all fits in very well. Is now when I zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to take this out of the way as well, just for a sec, yeah. Just so we can also look at the channel, yeah. Again, this looks like to me, a strong rejection. It went up and touched the 20 EMA again, strong rejection. It's coming down at the moment. When I go into the EMAs, I'll talk it through in a moment, is it looks like it could go both ways. So what do I think is actually going to happen when I play it to the 15-minute arc, yeah? If I play it to the 15-minute arc, is we're mountain peak, we're looking at a potential third drop, back up for another 786, back down for another 786 or so, a smaller retrace. It might even go all the way up again to 786, and then potentially, if it is to the downside as a symmetrical triangle, continuation to the downside is, and again, this is the greater, the symmetrical triangle is playing out over all this, yeah. The potential trades over the next few days is take my profit on my short here, look for the 1-2, the double bottom, a long, a short, a long and a short. Possibly is go short here and stay in, because this lift here might not be very much, might be very, very small indeed, and then just down it goes. So I think take the short today, profit, look for the long, and look for the short here, and again this could be dragging out over the weekend. Something this plays out, breakout next week, I think. So now in the more immediate term is when I look at the 20 EMA and the 55 EMA on the 15-minute, is you can see it crossed over. You can see there's a bit of a push down, a retrace and a push down. The 20-minute is crossing over here as well, and it's crossed the VWAP. So again, it's encouraging me to think it's going to actually reach its target, and the target would be Target would be approximately 39.10. 39.10. And that would give me my 15% back that I lost yesterday, yeah? And when it hits this, again, what I'll be looking for is a 1-2, a double bottom formation, and it starts to take off again. I'll look to win on another long, and again, I'll put the fibs on looking for the target, yeah? Potentially, let's say it does hit 30, 39. There it is, there, all the way back to the top of this. Possibly a target of 41 is look to get in. Well, it won't be 39. I might get in about 39.50, and potentially the target of about 41. But I have to see it play out. I have to see it play out. And again, Mihaela mentioned that by the time this gets down, does its 1-2, it'll be the New York session before it confirms itself for a long trade. So that's what we're looking at. And outside of that, I think that's. Oh well, I've a couple of MAs. One of the things that I'm looking at that's a bit ropey, is on the 6 hour. The 6 hour changed a little while ago, and this makes me question what I'm saying about continuation to the down. Yeah, at the moment, it pumped up. Okay, there it pumped up here, hit the 20 EMA on the daily. Is we're having a retrace. At the moment, this has come down here. But on the 6 hour, it got caught on the 20 MA. There's the 5. There's the 10. There's the 50. 20 EMA in there. They're all solid ground to break through. So it's a bit of a challenge for it to actually get down here, which I showed you on the EMAs. It's on the 15. There's still a push down, but it's a challenge to get through all this. These would need to turn a little bit or blunt themselves a little bit so that it doesn't just take off and break out. So that's one of the things I'm watching out for, is that the 6 hour here is looking solid for another pump up, which could completely contradict the pattern of what I've said and how it might behave. Equally on the 12 hour, the 10 here has been a rejection here at the moment, yeah. So I want to see price action getting down here to put a bit of pressure on these, to bend these guys back down and not have them look so strong for the pump. So I am watching that. On the day, again, as much as this is a long rejection wick down here, it's also a rejection wick at the top, and also it hit the 20 EMA, and it's the second time it's got rejected. So again, maybe it's coming, it'll dip here, and again it's coming to test it again, or it's coming for the downside. Look at the 20. The 20 is down, the yellow, the VWAP is down, the 10 is down, so that's all good. That's all good for the 10 is not, sorry, 10 is not down, 10 is slightly up. The 5 is up here, but the 20 is solidly down, and so is the VWAP. So there's a bit of push and pull here with these guys as well. Yeah. Again, getting it down to if it does its full correction, again, this will put an awful lot of pressure on the 5 here, just to draw it down a little bit. So when it hits this, again, it'll come up and it can do a smaller impulse, but it'll be, the bigger impulse might be blunted, and it does that smaller 1, 2, and let itself play out a little bit more in the next couple of days. So that's these guys are what I'm watching out for. Yeah. And then the final thing, I think I might have said the final thing 2 minutes ago, but I really mean it now. Here's the 20. I don't think we're going to get as far as the half hour. I think the 15 and the 20-minute crossover will get the final push in and get the touch. Is when I go to the hour, again, you can see that it wicked here, hit the 15 on the hour, and again, it's getting rejected back down off that and the VWAP. On the 2 hour, again, the same thing on the VWAP, and it's getting pushed back down. you can see how these crossing overs are creating the pumps and the dumps at the moment, yeah. And again, the 3 hour, again, you see the turn here and a cross here for a pump. And then the 4 hour, again, the 4 hour dropped here, nice drop, came here, turned, came again. And again, this is another one where I'm going, you know, if the 4 hour actually crossed over here with a bit of conviction, is again, we could be looking at a much bigger pump, So this here could turn out to be a 1, 2, and then 3 and break out, and it's a much bigger pump to the upside. So that is also on the cards. So yeah, we just I'm gonna keep trading the impulses, and one of them will eventually break out, and it's getting very, very close. And the impulses are getting a little bit more, actually not a little bit more, are getting more volatile. So we just got to see how it's going to go. You see the VWAP is turned down at the moment. Another thing about the 4 hour, actually, it's the last thing. This is the last thing I'm going to say. And again, this is an argument possibly for the pump. Is there's 2 red candles on the 4 hour. Is look, the 5 is still going up. The 5 didn't turn, and this candle was down here, and the 5 still decided to stay going up. This candle is while it's green, it's still below the 5, and again, it looks like the 5 here might be a little bit of resistance, but the point is that it hasn't turned down. It hasn't turned down when it looks like it has ample opportunity to turn down. The 50 is turning slightly. The VWAP turned. These guys are all sort of caught in the middle. Here's the 20 coming up a little bit. The 10 is a little sideways, well, a little down because of this movement here. But you can see the 4 hour is still looking like it's eager to go up, and this is just catching the bottom for an up. So there you go. So that's what I'm watching for. If it doesn't pump up here, it does an impulse, catches and comes back down. Again, I think that's a very good indication of the breakdown. If this doesn't break up on the next impulse and it comes down again, I think that's a pretty good argument for suggesting that the breakdown is probably stronger. So that's it. We're sort of on the edge a little bit. So I'll leave questions till the end of Mihaela's session, and then we can finish this for YouTube, and then we can have a chat between ourselves. So Mihaela, do you want to take over?
Yes, absolutely right. Yeah. Okay. I am ready now.
Yeah. Are you sharing the screen?
I am now. Okay. I will start with Bitcoin this morning, and I will start with the 4 hour channel it's been in. I've readjusted this channel because I had the resistance line a little bit higher, and I would get too few counts of the swing. So if the line is here, we have only two swings up and down. If I adjust it slightly to here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we need another one here for 5, and then another one here for 6, and maybe some consolidation and a break upwards towards the 35, or a breakdown towards the 25. So we are not out of this sideways for Bitcoin. Just to give you some background on the 4 hour time frame, we are still moving within the 3130/32K range and the 2829 one. So this is still our range. We haven't broken it. We are testing the top line a little bit more, and I hope that we gain support over the 55 EMA on the 4 hour, and we hold it. So this is what I'm inclined to think will happen this week and the next one. we've been testing this stop line a lot, and I believe that we might attempt again to break it, and then if we consolidate above it, break up, and then this would be this sideways channel complete. I will just put the path in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say we're not coming down, and then we're here, and then we consolidate a little bit, and then we move up, which would be the technical target of this channel. So that's what I think that would be. And we'd have 1, 2, 3 touches to the top, not 3 touches to the bottom, but that happens if there is a desire to bring in a relief rally towards the up. The opposite scenario would be downwards. And instead of consolidating there, we'd come back here. We would consolidate down here and then move towards a second bottom downwards. So in the bigger picture of things, I know we're trading the 15-minute swings, but we need to keep an eye on the space that we're in the 4-hour. We are still trending sideways. There's no bullish, bearish trend at the moment. We are in the sideways range. So I'm looking for the 2 levels, the break upwards towards the 31.5, and if we consolidate there, my next target would be 35, or coming downwards towards the 28.5, and then if we break that, 26 or 25. I would have a take profit of 26 and then leave a little bit in for 25. When will we have the answer? Later, I think for the next move later on today. Again, New York will open. I'm looking at where we are at the moment, and yesterday we have fulfilled this W formation with an upwards target. It went way above the target that I had set, so it was a great long to do. And that's why taking profit step by step and leaving a little bit in goes a long way. So you might be in for another nice chunk of profit. But my target was 30,500, and I expected to get a little bit more consolidation here. It went straight up. There was no consolidation, went straight up. Nice hope. Now on the 15-minute in the New York session, I am expecting something relatively similar. So we had this drop down during the Asian session. That was, yes. I'm just reaching. There we go. So the Asian session dropped it down, and then in the London session we have a little bit of a lift here, and I am looking at this as the start of a possible W formation. So I'm at the moment I'm not in a trade in Bitcoin. I took my full profits from the long, and then I'm waiting for New York to start here and either put a second leg down or break this. That is the second scenario. And retest the 23 or even the 28 line. So these are the 2 scenarios that can happen in the New York session. If we go below the first leg of this W and we stay there, chances are we're gonna come lower. So I'm 50-50 between a long and a short in the New York session. It depends what happens when it meets the 29.9 line, the 30K line. As it looks right now, it wants to stay above the 3,400, and if it consolidates here, again, like yesterday for ETH, I have the least probable scenario going. No, not going in a straight line towards the 32,300. That is the red scenario. So these are the three possible options that I'd say, again, 50-50 between the long and the short trade in the New York session. I don't have enough information at the moment. To me, it looks like the short is slightly more probable because we've only had one leg down, consolidation, second leg down. But then Bitcoin has had its drops and then its reversals without making any leg down lately. The nature of the sideways makes it behave like that. So I have to wait and see how this the 29.9 level is met, if it's broken or if it's held. If it's the 1-2 on the way up, or if it's breaking the support and heading down for the next line. In terms of the EMAs, on the 1 hour, we have support of the 200, the 5 is coming up. We are looking at getting above the 50 back again, and that would be great. If we hold the 50 on the 1 hour, again, the 800 EMA looks like a possible target at 31.5. On the 4 hour, we have a lot of support underneath the current candle, and there's the 5 that is the resistance. So this five can turn. So if the next candle is red, this 5 can turn, and it can bring down price action beneath this level of support. So 5 is actually quite powerful, an MA, to initiate moves. And I'm looking again in the next 4 to 6 / 8 hours, 4 to 8 hours. We'll see how the MAs behave on the 4 hour. Again, I see a possible retest of the Bollinger at the 28.9 level on the 4 hour. And that would coincide with the 4 hour pattern. I'll just bring you back to the beginning. Yes, that's it. So that would coincide with the 4 hour pattern of retesting again the 28.7 level, just to have 1, 2, 3 touches to the bottom, and not just to have those 3 touches technically, but to have that accumulation going before the lift upwards. So yes, I guess having said all that, I am more inclined, like 60% towards a possible short in the New York session, and 40% towards a long, and close to 0 going up in a straight line. I don't see it doing that. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I don't see it doing that. And if that happens, I would wait for the 32 to be consolidated upon and then go in for the 35. I wouldn't, if it goes straight up in a violent stop loss move, I wouldn't jump on, because it can just as quickly reverse. So I would wait for the level to prove itself. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, the 4 hour pattern on ETH looks a little bit different, because we're not sideways, we're in a descending triangle. Michael was posting this earlier on, and I didn't have a pattern for the 4 hour. I was just following the 20 MA, and then I realized how nicely this descending triangle works with the falling 20 EMA on the 4 hour. And this pattern shows price compression. Price is becoming compressed in this range, which means there will be a move either way, upwards or downwards, quite soon. We already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think we already have the touches. So today in the New York session, we might see either a lift up and consolidation above the 20 EMA, or we might see a push down in the form of a stop loss hunt and then a lift up. I am again on the 4-hour time frame for ETH. I do see it because it's had its triple bottom, so it is a strong accumulation pattern. If it holds the previous low, so it doesn't go below it, I do see this descending triangle have a target of about 2300, which is the 55 EMA. That's how that's my 3-4 day scenario for ETH. It might happen sooner. What I'm watching for is these two levels. The famous 1950, well, it's slightly below it, and the 1700. In the short-term pattern, we had a W formation yesterday that did go up to the next level, a lower target than a lower lift than Bitcoin's. And now we are consolidating sideways. Like there's a lot of sideways here. In the New York session, I am expecting another leg down towards the 1750. And with that second leg down, we would have a bigger W formation possibly forming and a lift. It looks like price action here in ETH is just fascinating to look at. It's pure sideways. These candles go so much above each other. The RSIs are halfway on the 1 hour and downwards and halfway on the 4 hours. So it's tricky to read at the moment. I would wait for the New York session to show itself, especially the first 2-3 candles, so that a pattern or a wave, an impulse wave, shows itself. We need to either retest the 1850 and hold it and move upwards towards the 1950, or we can have a push down, and if we break the 1750, we're heading downwards. And again, my target from this channel, longer term, like over maybe 2 weeks, if it does decide to come down, would be around the 1550 area. But we don't have that confirmation. These are just projected levels when this sideways or this pattern breaks. That's it for me. A little bit longer today because I had to discuss both sides. Let's watch the levels for both Bitcoin and Ethereum when New York starts. And I'll keep you posted on the Discord if we do see any start of patterns or a bottom or peak formations. Thank you.
Super. Thanks, Mihaela. Great. Okay. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day, and let's see how it plays out. And we'll go on now, and we'll just if there's any questions, we can ask them, yeah?